just done this super bouncy blow dry on myself. If you want to learn how to do this on yourself, keep watching. Hi everyone, so I'm going to do a little voiceover just with my curly blow dry tutorial, whatever you want to call it. So so I'm blasting the hair 80% dry. Don't keep it too wet because you'll just be taking ages doing your curly blow dries. You'll just be mainly focused on drying it rather than actually getting your curl out your curly blow dry. So I start on the bottom section, so I work my way from the bottom to the top over my head. So I smooth my mid-lengths and ends, and then I work towards bending the ends of my hair around my brush. So I would definitely advise a round ceramic brush for a curly blow dry. On this video I'm using 25mm brush. However, the smaller the brush you use, the more bouncy, the more tight your curls are going to be. It depends how big or how tight you want your curls. So I normally use a 25mm, which is what I've got on this video, or 35mm. So yeah, so my hairdryer is on top heat throughout this whole blow dry. It is on full speed, so the highest speed setting you can have. To start off with, I'd probably only recommend doing medium speed, just because you don't want it to get too crazy. You don't want your hair to be absolutely flying all over the place, and you want it to be a nice controlled blow dry, because you will find the first time you do this your hair will be flying all over the place. I'd definitely recommend a nozzle with your hairdryer. So I'm using the DIVA hairdryer here. I just got it from Sally's, which I'm sure you can get. There's a Sally's, they do some Sally's that is open to the public, or if you've got a card, if you're in trade, even better. So yeah, this is the DIVA hairdryer. So I do use it with a nozzle. Nozzle controls your air, whereas if you're trying to use it without a nozzle, your airflow, your hair is literally gonna go crazy. So it just keeps things a bit more controlled. So you'll see me throughout this video re-wrapping the hair, rolling it up, heating it, leaving it for a few seconds, and then unwrapping it. And every time I unwrap it, I check to see if I'm satisfied with my curl. So if I'm not, I'll then wrap it up again and heat it, just to get a bit more of a curl through it. You'll see me do it over and over again. It's because I'm not happy with the curl, so I'll just keep doing it until I'm satisfied, and then I'll wrap it up into a pin curl. So as well as this curly blow dry tutorial, it is a pin curl one as well. So I do a lot of pin curls with my clients, just because the hair cools down in the pin curl, so it's gonna last you longer, and you can keep the pin curls in for literally however long you want, overnight, for 5 minutes until it cools down, however long you want. So yeah, so work towards the bottom, so build up your ends, get your ends nice and curly before you then wrap it up towards your mid-lengths. Keep the heat on the hairdryer. Try not to touch your nozzle with your hair or your brush, because that's when you start to burn your hair, and we do not want any burn heads. Especially, I don't want any of my clients burning their hair, please, thanks. So yeah, so I'm now onto my side sections. So if you've got frizzy hair, make sure you keep your nozzle smoothing your hair strands. So you need to keep it nice and smooth to be able to tame the frizz. So yeah, so I'm rolling it up here, so I'll wrap all them little bits that are coming out, which I'm sure absolutely everyone gets them little bits coming out, unfortunately, just due to either snappage, breakage, baby hairs. If you've been pregnant, or if you are pregnant, you will get them little snappy bits, or baby hairs. So just make sure you don't forget them out, because they can stand out an absolute mile off if you leave them out. So yeah, wrap them up. I use 2 fingers in between my curls to wrap it round, because it's wide enough for then you to just slip a grip in the middle of there. For each section I'm using 2 grips as well, so they're just normal Kirby grips that you can literally get from any shop. Mine are just Sally's ones that I use for all my weddings and everything like that. Also, don't forget to keep your tension with your brush and your hairdryer. So you don't want any loose sections, you want everything nice and tight because it's going to smooth your hair as well. So keep your tension with it all. So even like I'm doing now, hold it whilst you're wrapping the hair around the brush. Also, remember, try not to get fish hooks. Fish hooks are where when you're curling the hair around the bottom of the brush, which I'm sure I'll be doing in 2 seconds, so that bit. So if the brush isn't smoothly going round whilst you're twirling your fingers around the brush, you're going to end up with a fish hook. So the fish hook is where you've not got a curl, you've not got a rounded curl on the end, it's just frizzy and straight. So we don't want any of them, we want everything nice, curly, bouncy through there. So yeah, wrap the pin curl up and just put your grips in there. So now on to the other side section, so just getting it nice and smooth, and then I'm gonna start to get it through to the middle ends and ends. Sometimes I will be holding my hairdryer whilst I'm curling the ends. I do that with my clients. However, on yourself it is easier to put your hairdryer down a second and just twirl it round without actually having the hairdryer in your hand, because there's a lot going on for this. Right, so now we're moving on towards the top section. So make sure your sections are nice and tidy when you're blow drying, and make sure no interfering sections with each other. Coming through to this top bit, you will start getting what everyone gets, a few shorter pieces, like I said before, so you'll get a few through breakage, snappage, even baby hairs, because that is one of the weakest points on your head. So you will start to get a bit of fallout like I'm getting now. Do not worry, focus on your longest piece of your section. So make sure you're still getting that curl, make sure you're not trapping that end and getting a fish hook with the longest bit because you're focusing on your fallout too much. So make sure you get your longest section, your longest hair of that section nice and curly. Then when you're rolling that brush down, then pick up your fallout pieces, and then you can focus on them too once you've got your longest piece of your section nice and curly. Also, when you are taking your sections, making sure you're not taking a section wider than your brush. So where your bristles are in your brush, you need to take your section smaller than the size of your bristles, if that makes sense. So if you are taking it any wider, you're going to start to get your hair overflowing the brush. So then that's where it all gets tangled. You're gonna get your brush stuck in your hair. You're gonna get stressed. You're gonna feel like you have to then chop your hair out because that's the only option. But don't worry, to prevent that, you just need to make sure your section is smaller than the bristle area of your brush, if that makes sense. So yeah, and then you need to keep all your hair within your bristle section to just prevent any knotting, tangling, anything like that. If you do give this tutorial a go and you do get your knotting, your tangling and everything like that, just remember, keep your sections within your bristles area, because most likely that's probably a problem as to why you're getting tangled, etc. Also, when you're wrapping your hair around your brush and holding it, waiting for it to cool down a bit. I am holding it there for at least about 10 seconds. You won't be seeing me on this video holding it for 10 seconds because I'm sure you'd all be getting a bit bored by now if you was to watch me wait for one of my sections to cool down before I then go to recurl it. So yeah, don't forget to, when you're wrapping your hair round and bringing it to your root area, hold it for about 10 seconds and then unravel it. Start again with your curl if you're not happy when you unravel it. So now I am on my last two sections. So my top sections I always do going up, so you're going to get more volume with your hair, with stretching your hair upwards. So you're going to get that root volume, which I know a lot of clients absolutely love, that root volume. So you're going to get that within your top sections. So I stretch my hair all the way to the top, get that nice bend in the mid-lengths and ends, and ravel it down, let it cool down, and then I'll probably go over and redo that section again just to get more of a curl. Right, so now I've finished my curly blow dry. I've put all my curly blow dry sections into pins, and then I kept it in my pins for about, I wouldn't say more than 5 minutes. So I'm now taking them out. So I'm using that same brush that I've blow dried with to take them out, and I'm gonna brush through that section in the way that the curl is going. So then it just expands the section and gives you more of that full bouncy blow dry kind of look. And then I twirl my fingers around it as well. So then you're twirling your brush around the section and your fingers around the section in the way that the curl is going. Right, so now you're at the top section, you're going to put your hair within the parting wherever you like your parting. So mine's just off to the side, so then I'm going to brush the hair away from my face and control the curls away from my face, so then it falls a lot softer. So there we have our bouncy blow dry, all nice, a little slow-mo for you there. And then I pull it all to the front, and there you go.